Welcome back to the Kanto region. Our Nuzlocke begins with trainer, Mai. After leaving Professor Oak's lab with Mochi the Bulbasaur secured a town map. Mai caught it Pidgey. She caught Toaster the Mankey. Baguette didn't waste any time, helping us take down Blue's Charmander. After grabbing the Teachy TV and Viridian, Mai braved the tall grass of the forest. Mai arrived in Pewter City, ready for a challenge, but needed to train up first. While preparing for the gym, Pothole reached its final form and evolved into a Butterfree. It was time to face Brock. The battle for the Boulder Badge was a breeze. With her first badge in pocket, Mai and the crew have officially prepared to depart Pewter City. Brock. A quick pit stop, and then it's straight to the moon. We met some new friends. First, we caught Dandruff the Nidoran female. Then, hidden in the shadows, we found Fidget the Clefairy. We even snagged a dome fossil. We met some karate masters who taught Fidget how to throw hands with Mega Punch and Mega Kick. We finally made it to Cerulean City. The team is looking stronger than ever, especially after we caught Crockpot the Sandslash. We took a moment to hit the mart for more Pokeballs. You can never have enough. Next up was a visit to Bill's house on Route 25. On the way, we had a classic showdown with Blue. While exploring, we also added Spork the Bellsprout to the roster. Then came the main event, the Cerulean City Gym. Misty Starmie is legendary for being a nightmare, but we were ready. Bulbasaur, now a powerful Ivysaur, took the lead and won tenaciously. We started by blowing the budget in Cerulean City. We gave Slowbro a little motivation to punch his way through our problems. Caught a Meowth, named it Tupperware, and immediately dumped him at the daycare. Sorry, buddy, no room for leftovers on this team. Arrived in Vermilion City. Grabbed a bike voucher from the fan club. Shout out to the old man for the yapping. And headed to Diglett's cave. Caught a Diglett named Doorstop and a Drowsy named NyQuil. Boarded the SS Anne just to humble Blue. My Ivysaur absolutely bodied his Raticate. You love to see it. The gym was looking a little intimidating, so we did a quick pharmacy run for some Paralyze heals. Safety first, kids. Then it was time for the main event. Dandruff the Nidorina versus the world. She didn't just win, she swept Lieutenant Surge's Raichu and left Victor in the dust. Third badge, secured. Grab the VS Seeker on the way out. First order of business, a massive supply run. You can never have too many potions when your team is named after kitchen appliances. We trekked all the way back through Diglett's cave to meet the professor's aide. He handed over HM05. Flash. Finally, we can stop bumping into walls. Next stop, Rock Tunnel. We recruited Dumbbell the Machop and taught Ziploc the Voltorb Flash, so we could actually see what we were doing. We spent the trek giving Dumbbell a crash course in combat until he was a certified heavy lifter. Emerging into Lavender Town, we met the Name Raider, the only man who understands our naming genius, and heard some shady rumors about Team Rocket. Naturally, we headed straight into the Pokémon Tower to investigate. Blue was waiting there, probably looking for a rematch he couldn't win. My team absolutely humbled him again. We reached the top floor, saw a literal ghost, and decided, nope. After hearing that Mr. Fuji is missing, we took a breather on Route 8. We caught a Vulpix named Coaster, because she's fire and looks great on a coffee table. Then, we tried to enter Saffron City, but the guards are thirsty and stubborn. Using the underground tunnel, we're headed towards Celadon City, and we are spending like royalty. First stop, the Celadon department store. We grabbed a Firestone for the future and headed straight to the mansion to pick up our newest recruit, Soap, the Eevee. But Eevee didn't stay fluffy for long. We dropped some cash on a Waterstone and evolved him immediately into Soap the Vaporeon. Now our team finally has a dedicated cleaning specialist. With the squad upgraded, we uncovered the secret entrance to the Team Rocket hideout. We spun our way through the tiles and kicked down the door to Giovanni's office. He thought he was tough, but Mochi the Ivysaur absolutely carried the fight and sent the boss packing. After grabbing the Sylph Scope, we took a well-deserved victory lap at the local restaurant. You can't save the world on an empty stomach. Refueled and ready, we marched straight into the Celadon gym. We cleared out every single trainer before taking on Erica. Coaster the Vulpix blazed through her Victreebel and Tangela. And when things got messy, Dandruff the Nidorina came in with the rainbow badge in our pocket. Our trainer Mai headed straight back to Lavender Town. We had a Sylph Scope, a mission, and absolutely no fear. Okay, maybe a little fear. We scaled the Pokémon Tower, put the restless soul of Marowak to peace, and rescued Mr. Fuji from Team Rocket. Our reward, the Poké Flute. Heading down Route 12, we found a massive roadblock, Snorlax, and touched down in Fuchsia City. We headed straight into the Safari Zone. Between the ticking clock and the fleeing Pokémon, we managed to snag the Gold Teeth and HM03 Surf. But the real highlight, the hunt for Tauros. After a grueling, soul-crushing search, we finally cornered him. It took 3 attempts and a lot of patience, but Hammer is officially on the team, and we're starting the day with some leisure. Our trainer Mai snagged the good rod. We checked in at the Fuchsia Gym, but the vibes were off, and the levels were way too high. Time for a tactical retreat to Saffron City. But instead of a warm welcome, we found a city under siege by Team Rocket. First, we warmed up at the Fighting Dojo, showing them that our household appliances hit harder than their black belts. Then, we saw the main event. Team Rocket had completely taken over Silphco. We stocked up on enough healing items to fill a pantry and started clearing the floors. After a grueling climb and another friendly interruption from Blue, we rescued a stranded employee who gave us a Lapras. We named her Beanbag and marched into the president's office to face Giovanni. With the building saved, the president handed over the ultimate prize, the Master Ball Company, and straight into the fire. After some quick training on the gym lackeys, we marched into the Saffron Gym to face Sabrina. We were underleveled and outmatched, but we had a secret weapon. Coaster the Ninetails was the absolute MVP. She was the only one on the team who could stare down an Alakazam and live to tell the tale. With the Marsh badge secured, we snagged TM31. We took a detour down Route 16 to, once we were leveled up, we stormed the Fuchsia Gym. Koga's muck was a total mess, but Dandruff pulled through to keep the win streak alive. 6 badges down, we hopped on Coaster's back and hit the waves on Route 19. We were aiming for Cinnabar, but got a bit turned around in the Seafoam Islands. Getting lost usually sucks, but this time, it led us straight to a legend. Deep in the ice, we found Articuno, but we managed to catch it. We named her Borealis. We finally found the exit and touched down on Cinnabar Island. We're diving deep into the ruins of the Pokémon Mansion. While dodging wild encounters, we found some chilling diaries detailing the origins of a legendary Pokémon named Mewtwo. But we weren't just here for the lore. We finally tracked down the secret key to the gym. Then, we made a little side trip to the power plant to catch Zapdos, the electric bird Pokémon. After some heavy training to handle the heat, we marched into the Cinnabar Gym to challenge Blaine. Dandruff was the MVP of the early game, digging her way through his Growlithe and Ponyta like it was a routine garden chore. Beanbag the Lapras crashed in to take out Rapidash, but a brutal critical hit from Arcanine cut her run short. Coaster dashed in with a quick attack to secure the win. We barely had time to celebrate before Bill showed up and basically kidnapped us to one island. He's got a big favor to ask, and it starts with meeting a guy named Celio, who's trying to get a high-tech network running between the islands. Now we're officially on a delivery mission. We've got a meteorite in our bag and instructions to take it to a game corner owner on 2 Island. It's a tropical detour from the gym circuit, but the adventure is just getting started, and our delivery mission just got complicated. After stocking up on supplies, we learned that the game corner owner's daughter, Lostel, has gone missing. Mission: find her and find her fast. We trekked deep into the berry forest on 3 Island. In the darkest patch of trees, we found her, terrified by a wild hypno. We didn't just save her, we added the kidnapper to the collection. With Lostel safe and the meteorite finally delivered, our work on the islands was done. It was time to return to the Kanto mainland for the final test, the Viridian Gym. But nothing could have prepared us for the man standing on the podium. The mysterious leader is none other than Giovanni himself. He thought he could stop our momentum, but we had a secret weapon. Beanbag the Lapras absolutely surfed all over his ground-type team. Defeated and disgraced, Giovanni disbanded Team Rocket and disappeared into the shadows. We've done it. 8 badges in the bag. Before we hit the Elite Four, we had one last piece of household maintenance to finish. We headed up Kindle Road to the peak of Mount Ember and tracked down the legendary Moltres. But the road to the league is never empty. Blue showed up for one final pre-championship scrap. It was a tough fight, but Beanbag absolutely shined. Now, there's nothing left but the Indigo Plateau. Meet the squad that's going to make Mai the champion. Leading the way is Mochi the Venusaur, our day 1 heavy hitter. Next is Beanbag, the Lapras, who's evolved from lounge furniture to a literal tank. We've got Pothole the Butterfree for that tactical support, and Coaster the Ninetails, who's been our MVP against the toughest psychics in Kanto. Then, there's Dandruff, now a fully evolved Nidoqueen, and our certified gym crusher. And finally, the powerhouse, Hammer the Tauros. He was a pain to catch, but he's here to bring the noise. 6 trainers, 8 badges, and a whole lot of grit. We're heading into the Elite Four. Wish us luck. Stay tuned.
We're standing face to face with Lorelei, the Ice-type master. Mai leads with Beanbag, our trusty Lapras. Lorelei's Dugong tries to play it safe with a safeguard, but Beanbag isn't here for games. She lets out a shockwave that lands a massive critical hit right out of the gate. Lorelei panics and burns a full restore immediately, but the tone has been set. It becomes a grueling war of attrition. Dugong starts summoning a hailstorm to chip away at us, following up with a freezing ice beam. But Beanbag is a tank. She soaks up the frost and keeps the pressure on with consistent electricity. One final surge of shockwave and the Dugong is finally unplugged. One down, but the air in here is only getting colder. Lorelei sends in Cloyster, a literal ironclad vault. We're calling in the heavy machinery and swapping to Hammer. The Cloyster hides behind Protect and another hailstorm trying to wait us out. But Hammer isn't interested in waiting. Even when Cloyster manages to get spikes on the field, Hammer just keeps swinging with pure strength. A final, devastating horn attack cracks the shell wide open. Goodbye, Cloyster. Slowbro is up next, so we pivot to Pothole the Butterfree for some status control. Pothole manages to land a poison powder, but Slowbro plays dirty with a yawn. Just as Pothole's eyes start to heavy, Mai clenches it with a full heal to keep the support flyer awake. Pothole shakes off the grogginess, and Jinx enters the fray and unfortunately catches a Pothole off guard with a brutal ice punch. It's time to bring in the fire. Coaster the Ninetails leaps into the ring, dodging a lovely kiss that would have ended the run. Lorelei tries to reset with another full restore, but Coaster isn't having it. A quick chip shot, quick attack, followed by a roaring fire blast, melts the Jinx instantly. We're down to the final boss. It's Lapras versus the world. We swap in Mochi for some Leech Seed and Poison Powder support, but disaster strikes. Lapras lands a lucky Ice Beam and freezes Mochi solid. With our anchor out of commission, we're forced to bring Beanbag back in. The battle gets ugly. Beanbag is paralyzed by a body slam and pelted with ice beams. But even at half speed, Beanbag proves why she's the queen of the team. One last shockwave connects, the giant falls, and Lorelei's reign of ice is officially over. Elite Four post-game wrap-up. The MVP Beanbag. She started the fight and finished it, taking out the 2 biggest threats on Lorelei's roster. With the ice cleared, Bruno and his fighting/rock types are waiting. Mai is facing off against the martial arts master himself. Elite Four Bruno. He leads with Onyx, but Mai isn't playing around. She sends out Mochi the Venusaur. One quick Razor Leaf and that Onix is back in the Stone Age. Talk about a type advantage. Bruno brings in the big guns with Hitmonchan. Mai tries to pivot to Pothole, but Bruno catches us slipping. A Rock Tomb lands, it's a critical hit, and just like that, Pothole is down. We need a new plan, and fast. Mochi is back in the ring. It's a battle of attrition now. Mochi misses a Razor Leaf, and Hitmonchan starts raining down sky uppercuts. It's looking grim, but Mai plays it smart. Leech Seed is planted. Bruno and Mai both burn their full restores, resets all around. But wait, Mochi finds the opening, lands a massive critical Razor Leaf, and finally sends Hitmonchan packing. In comes Hitmonlee, and this guy is fast. He kicks Mochi right into the red zone with a mega kick, but Mochi holds on. One last Razor Leaf connects, and the fighting duo is done for. Bruno is down to his last legs. Bruno brings out his second Onix, but Mai is one step ahead, swapping Mochi out for Beanbag the Lapras. Onix tries an Earthquake, but it's not enough. Beanbag catches a wave with Surf and washes that Onix away. Bruno's looking nervous now. Last man standing for Bruno, Machamp. He swings big with a cross chop but whiffs. Beanbag punishes with a Surf and a critical Ice Beam, but Machamp manages to land a hit and takes Beanbag down with him. It's all up to Coaster now. Coaster enters the fray, breathes one final flamethrower, and it's over. Mai takes the win against Bruno. Hoo-ha indeed. While Beanbag and Coaster did the important work of cleaning up at the end, Mochi was the absolute engine of the fight. We're stepping into the third chamber of the Elite Four to face Agatha. She leads with her first Gengar, and we're sending out Dandruff to establish some ground. Agatha immediately goes for the psychological warfare with a Confuse Ray, and unfortunately, Dandruff starts hitting herself in the confusion. Gengar seizes the moment to stack Double Team, making it nearly impossible to hit. We manage to land a Thief for some chip damage, but after a few Shadow Punches and a misclicked Brick Break that phase right through the Ghost, we've got to pivot. We cycle through Pothole to land a super effective Psychic, but the real big brain play comes when we swap in Hammer. Since Hammer is a normal type, Gengar's Shadow Punch completely whiffs. We punish the Ghost with Pursuit, forcing Agatha to burn a full restore after Gengar is hit with Toxic. It's a messy tactical back and forth, but we're slowly draining her resources. In comes Beanbag the Lapras to finish the job. Gengar is still hiding behind a wall of double teams, causing our Surf to miss repeatedly. Beanbag gets caught in another Confused Ray and starts taking internal damage. But then, the miracle happens. She snaps out of the haze, connects with a clutch Ice Beam, and freezes Gengar solid. With the Ghost literally on ice, Beanbag shatters its defenses and finally clears the field. One Ghost down, but Agatha isn't finished. Agatha sends in Golbat, hoping to restart the confusion cycle. Beanbag stays in the zone, weathering an Air Cutter and shaking off another Confused Ray to shut the bat down with a high-voltage shockwave. Next is Arbok, the venomous heavy hitter. We swapped a Pothole for some psychic pressure before bringing Dandruff back in for a revenge play. Arbok whiffs an Iron Tail, and Dandruff makes them pay with a massive Earthquake that rattles the entire chamber. Redemption achieved. Agatha's Haunter enters next. We swapped a Coaster to bring the heat. It's a bit of a clumsy standoff at first. We miss a Flamethrower, and they miss a Hypnosis. But once Coaster connects with the fire, Haunter gets desperate and uses Curse, cutting its own HP so low that it basically knocks itself out. We'll take the win however we can get it. Last man standing, Agatha's second Gengar. We lead with Mochi, who successfully lands a Leech Seed before being put to sleep by Hypnosis. We swap back to Coaster, who takes a Sludge Bomb and gets poisoned in the process. Agatha uses her last full restore, but the trap is already set. Coaster lands a Flamethrower that triggers a burn, and between the fire and the Leech Seed sap, the Gengar's health vanishes. Agatha is defeated. While the whole team contributed to this marathon, Beanbag is the undisputed MVP. Taking on Agatha's lead, Gengar is the hardest part of the fight. The long walk to the final chamber. This is it. The air is heavy with the scent of dragons and the weight of the title. Lance, the final member of the Elite Four, stands ready. No more being clever. This is a battle of raw power. Lance leads with Gyarados, and Mai counters with her heavy hitter, Hammer. Both Pokémon exchange glares, dropping each other's attack with Intimidate. Mai plays it safe, swapping Hammer for Dandruff. Gyarados roars with a Dragon Rage, but Dandruff holds firm. Gyarados goes for a bite, but that's its first mistake. It triggers Dandruff's poison point. While Gyarados suffers from the venom, Dandruff chips away with Brick Break. Mai brings Hammer back in for another Intimidate cycle. After a grueling exchange of Strength and Dragon Rage, and a desperate full restore from Lance, Hammer finally brings the beast down with a powerful Strength. Next up, Aerodactyl. Mai sends in Beanbag to weather the storm. It's a game of musical chairs as Mai swaps to Mochi, but Aerodactyl is relentless, knocking Mochi out with a swift wing attack. Hammer returns to the fray. Aerodactyl goes for the high-risk Hyper Beam, but Hammer survives. While the prehistoric Pokémon is stuck recharging, Hammer seizes the moment, delivering a massive horn attack to clear the field. Lance brings out the big gun, Dragonite. Mai tries to stall with Dandruff, but a critical hit Hyper Beam vaporizes her poor Nidoqueen instantly. Beanbag steps up next, landing a super effective Ice Beam while Dragonite recharges, but Lightning strikes twice. Another critical hit Hyper Beam takes Beanbag out. Down to the wire, Mai sends in Coaster. She lands a crucial Will-O-Wisp, setting the dragon ablaze. Dragonite tries to fight through the pain with Outrage, but the burn is too much. The dragon falls not to a hit, but to the slow sting of the fire. Lance's first Dragonair falls to a critical hit Flamethrower from Coaster, but the second Dragonair is a nightmare. It paralyzes Coaster with Thunder Wave and forces Mai to burn through full restores as it thrashes around with Outrage. With Coaster struggling, Mai makes one final swap back to her most reliable partner. Hammer. Paralyzed and battered, Hammer refuses to go down. As Dragonair succumbs to its own confusion, Hammer ignores the paralysis and lands one last crushing horn attack. The battle is won. Mai has conquered the dragons. What an absolute roller coaster. Hammer was the absolute anchor of this team and stood tall at the very end. This is it, the moment of truth. Mai versus Blue for the title of champion. Blue leads with Pidgeot, and we're starting with our reliable anchor, Hammer. The two trade Intimidates, but Pidgeot plays dirty with a sand attack, blurring Hammer's vision. Blue tries to shut us down with Feather Dance, so Mai strategically swaps to Dandruff to reset those stats before bringing Hammer right back in. The tension is already through the roof. Blue isn't waiting around, he swaps Pidgeot for Raiden. Mai reads the play perfectly and switches to Mochi. Raiden tries to bury us with Rock Tomb, but Mochi isn't having it. One swift Razor Leaf and the Raiden is deleted. 1 down, 5 to go. Next up is Alakazam, and this is where things get grueling. We bring in Coaster for a Fire Blast, but Alakazam is terrifyingly fast. We swap to Beanbag to tank a Future Sight, but Alakazam starts a frustrating loop of Recover and Reflect. The battle turns into a war of attrition. Beanbag takes the Future Sight hit, splashes back with Surf, but a massive critical hit Psychic finally knocks Beanbag out. It's a huge loss for the squad. Coaster returns to avenge her teammate, melting the Alakazam with a Flamethrower. But Blue keeps the pressure high, sending in Gyarados. We swap to Hammer for another Intimidate cycle. Gyarados whiffs a Hydro Pump, giving us just enough breathing room to revive Beanbag. We pivot Beanbag back in to face a barrage of Thrash, burning a full restore just to keep her standing. Beanbag lands a Shockwave, forcing Blue to swap to Exeggutor. We land a clutch Ice Beam that actually freezes the Exeggutor solid. We think we've caught a break, but luck isn't on our side today. The Exeggutor thaws out immediately and retaliates with a Giga Drain, knocking Beanbag out again. The back and forth is getting exhausting. Coaster steps back in to burn the forest down with a Flamethrower, clearing the Exeggutor. We bring Mochi in to face the returning Gyarados. But the dragon is on a rampage with Thrash. Mochi goes down, but not before we use the opening to full restore Hammer. Hammer charges back in, lands a crushing Strength, and finally, the Gyarados is finished. Blue is down to his last legs, but he's already used a full restore on Pidgeot. We swap to Dandruff as the marathon continues. Pidgeot is proving to be a nightmare. It opens with an Aerial Ace, but it triggers Dandruff's poison point. Pidgeot is officially on a timer. Blue burns a full restore to save his bird, while we focus on the long game, healing up Coaster and reviving Beanbag. The back and forth is relentless. Pidgeot is spamming Sand Attack and Feather Dance, trying to cripple our accuracy and power. We pivot between Dandruff and Hammer, trading horn attacks and aerial aces in a battle that feels like it'll never end. Finally, we bring Beanbag back in to end the stalemate. She shakes off the sand, lands a perfect ice beam, and the Pidgeot is finally grounded. Blue is down to his final ace, Charizard. We send in Pothole to try and gain an edge, but a massive fire blast takes her out instantly. The fatigue is showing now. We bring Dandruff back in, using the opening to full restore the rest of the squad. In a brilliant tactical move, Dandruff uses Thief to literally steal Charizard's citrus berry and eat it right in front of him. Talk about adding insult to injury. We swap to Coaster, and it's the play of the game. Charizard's Fire Blast is absorbed by Coaster's Flash Fire. We're immune to the heat. Coaster and Charizard trade blows, Fire Blast versus slashes. It's a slugfest. Blue uses his final full restore, forcing us to pivot one last time to Beanbag. She takes a barrage of aerial aces but manages to land 2 heavy surfs, weakening the dragon before finally falling one last time. She's done her job. It all comes down to this. One sliver of health left on that Charizard. Mai sends Coaster back into the arena. No time for Fire Blasts. Coaster lunges forward with a lightning-fast quick attack. It connects. Charizard hits the canvas and the battle is over. Mai is the new league champion. While every team member bled for this win, Coaster was the true tactical anchor of the finale. She took the heat and gave it right back. From the quiet paths of Pallet Town to the roaring crowd of the Champions Room, this hasn't just been a series of battles. It's been a journey of nostalgia and growth. Mai's squad, Mochi, Dandruff, Coaster, Pothole, Hammer, and Beanbag, proves that you don't need a team of legendaries to reach the top. You just need a group of partners who have been through it all together. As the Hall of Fame recording starts, we're reminded of the magic of Kanto, the tall grass, the hidden TMs, and the rivalries that push us to be better. It's been a long road, Professor Michael, but Mai has officially etched her name into history. Here's to the new champion.